Just when I thought that Destiny 2 couldn't possibly butcher the goodwill of the player base further, Bungie and Activision go ahead and do what they do best. Even before it launched, the game had already come under fire for the way it changed Destiny 1's shaders from unlockables to consumables to feed into their loot box monetization scheme. And more recently, Bungie was caught lying to the players by secretly throttling experience points for those who were earning it too fast over time. The in-game display would show the players that they were receiving the full amount of XP, while the Destiny Item Manager app showed that the game was actually throttling players to a point in which they might be earning as little as 4% of what they should be receiving. The intention was clear. Bungie wanted to artificially slow down the pace at which level 20 players earned the game's loot boxes, or bright engrams, and it was only once Bungie got caught red-handed doing this that they decided to remove the XP throttling system from the game. But then they promptly proceeded to lie again by secretly doubling the amount of XP needed to fill up the XP meter and earn a bright engram, which only pissed people off even further. Then, just yesterday, players found out that the launch of Destiny 2's Curse of Osiris DLC locked players with a vanilla game out of previously accessible activities and the game's Platinum trophy. Now, I know this is nothing new and that Destiny 1 did something similar, but just because something isn't new doesn't mean that it's not shitty. This is all on top of widespread gameplay complaints about things like balance and the way certain activities and loot systems function. Suffice to say that ever since launch, it's been a tumultuous journey for Destiny 2. Now, I wish I could tell all of you Destiny players that it gets better from here, but if recent developments are anything to go by, I'd be telling you a bold-faced lie. It has recently come to my attention that Bungie is currently hiring for a position called Senior Progression Designer, and you're not going to be happy with what that entails. The following information comes from the official Bungie website. You can find this page by going into their career section. According to the job description, the Senior Progression Designer works with a diverse array of disciplines to build and maintain Destiny's monetization business, the Eververse. You will work with artists to plan and realize new items, and with engineers and other designers to imbue it with function. The ideal candidate will be a force in creating alignment and support for new designs and monetization strategies. Now here's where things get really scary. If you check under responsibilities, notice how the very first bullet point states, create sustainable player progression and chase through Destiny 2's bright engram. Yup, the bullet point is implying that the senior progression designer would create a progression system that revolves around loot boxes. Sound familiar? Well, that's because we just went through a whole debacle on this issue with Star Wars Battlefront 2, a game that received unprecedented backlash from gaming communities, the media, and government officials around the world after it got called out for basing its entire progression system around loot boxes, a game of chance, and encouraging players to purchase them by slowing progression down to a grind. And now it's looking like Destiny might be headed in a similar direction, with talk about creating a player progression through bright engrams. The bullet points continue with the following noteworthy excerpts. Design and implement new features and systems with an eye on engagement, retention, and monetization. Use data and design sensibilities to define strategies for maintaining ideal engagement patterns and maximizing player satisfaction. Work with Destiny 2 leadership to help define a cohesive monetization experience across multiple expansions and seasons. Manage the creative and craft growth of progression designers on the Eververse team and help establish a strong design culture. The abridged version of all this is basically create a system and find the best way to underhandedly manipulate players and keep them hooked so that we can monetize them for as long as humanly possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the future of Destiny 2. Slowly but surely, it's inching its way towards basing its progression around glorified slot machines like Battlefront 2 did, and in turn, it paves a way for Activision to implement an egregious gamble to win system. So for any Destiny players out there or anyone considering diving into the Destiny ecosystem, stay on your toes and be very careful. While most aspects of bright engrams are only tied to cosmetics at the moment, if this job listing is anything to go by, this could all change dramatically over time. Hell, it could happen right under our noses when you consider that Bungie and Activision have already proven that they're willing to lie directly to the players through underhanded tactics like a hidden XP throttling system system that slows down bright in-game earnings. Because God forbid that players don't pay extra for a game that they already purchased at a premium price. Add on top of that the fact that Activision has filed trademarks for things like a manipulative matchmaking system designed to incentivize microtransactions purchases by artificially pairing up novice players with expert players, and yeah, it is slowly starting to look like there are a lot of malevolent and exploitative tactics that are brewing behind the scenes. There were plenty of reasons to avoid Destiny 2 like the plague, but if you needed another one, there you go. Consider this ominous premonition of a job listing that the game might be evolving to have its progression system revolve around glorified gambling. With that, I would like to end this news update. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this video revealing, and if you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon to help this channel stay independent and self-sustained. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.